Hey y'all, good morning. It's Sunday morning and it finally rained last night. Thank God. I've been just praying and praying for rain. It has been so dry, just incredibly dry. I thought the well was going to go dry because I have been watering with our well water, and I've had to water every day. And things have just been limping along. I mean, they haven't really even appreciated. They're like, that's great, but where's the rain? So finally some rain and everything got a little beat down. But I videoed the garden yesterday because I knew that the rain was coming, and I had like some roses blooming. And so I have a section that I videoed yesterday. So of course I'm complaining about not having rain, but we have had it, thank God. And I'm just going to show y'all a few things around the garden. I've been having caterpillar adventures this week, and hopefully we'll be having butterfly adventures soon. And this is on the Gulf Coast, and I'm Rachel, and I'm gardening in Zone 9A. So y'all come along with me. I'm really praying for rain, y'all. We have not had measurable rain in a couple of weeks, and it could rain this afternoon. So I wanted to video this really quick before it does, because I'm afraid it will do damage to the roses that are blooming. So as you can see, I have cut the salvia all the way back so that I can walk through the path again. And I rearranged, and I brought some pale pink and some whites in pots right here. I didn't like the yellow and the red. It made me sad. I'm really enjoying this instead. This is like globe basil and vinca and some Mexican heather, and then that's that coral nymph salvia right here. It looks like it may bloom again, along with the calibrachoa that's just barely limping along, and the penta is in the ground, and the duranta is in the ground. And I have a white penta right there that's coming up, that's in the ground. And the roses behind it are looking rather sad. Also, that Carex Avarillo, it's a little sunburned because, you know, it was under the salvia mostly. So it's looking kind of stunned, but hopefully, you know, it'll come back. And then I've got this diamond frost euphorbia and some geraniums in this pot right here. So that's slightly different with that globe basil, which I'm really liking a lot. Isn't it pretty? And then I've got that, let's see, this is aquatic milkweed, and then the vincas that are that coral color. I'm loving it. But so now I can walk through here. I was going to show you this James Galway rose up here. Isn't that just lovely? It's a climbing rose, and even though I haven't sprayed it, you know, there's black spot on it, all kinds of stuff, it seems to be doing really well. And I've got another rose over here. I have been having so much fun in the garden, y'all. I totally gave up on keeping the armadillo out of the circle garden. So here is the California Dreamin' Rose, and it's blooming. And you know what else? The summer romance is going to bloom. That's my favorite. And it does have black spot on it, but it's got so many leaves. And here's a bud that's going to open up soon. So excited about this one. But this over here, this big mama, it's been so gorgeous. Even though it's been dug around and around in circles by that armadillo. I mean, I'll show you. It just comes in here and it digs around at the base of it. I can't believe it hasn't even just been thrown out of the ground. But so yeah, I have given up on keeping the armadillo out of the circle garden. I've taken my pots and rearranged them, and I'm doing kind of a thing where it's kind of a search and rescue kind of deal, where I'm finding plants that are, it's obvious that they're going to get ripped out of the ground, and I'm putting them in pots. So that's what I've been doing right now. Isn't this pretty? This right here. It looks more red than I would prefer it to be. I'm probably going to end up taking that to the front yard. But I'm liking that together, Isn't that lovely? I mean, just bright and fun and cheerful. And I didn't realize that stuff right there, right now I can't think of the name of it, but was going to take over. And the sun patient is going to be kind of in the background, because I figured the sun patient would come up and get crazy, but it's the other way around. So that's interesting. So yeah, I'm going to come in here and dig up some stuff that I'm concerned that will be cast aside by the armadillo. And I dug up one of these. This one I dug up a while back, and it's looking great and so happy. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I think it's called Blew My Mind Morning Glory. Oh, look at this. Isn't that kind of an interesting flower? It looks somewhat burnt, but I guess that's what it's supposed to look like. Let's see what it's called. It is called a Cajun hibiscus silverado. Okay, so it's kind of silvery looking. That's interesting. I'm liking that. So it finally bloomed. It's got some more buds on it, and I haven't seen any butterflies on it because I mainly got it because I thought that butterflies would like it. But I haven't been out here a lot during the day. I'm going to move that bird bath to the front yard so that I can keep a better eye on it and keep it kind of scrubbed out, because it's been pretty nasty back there. It's not level, and it's nasty. But so yeah, I cut down the Amistad salvia. I didn't rip them out. They can grow back. In fact, they already are growing back. This is one of them right here. That. And I pulled out the kale because the kale back there was smelling like kale does. So it was smelling icky. It hadn't started smelling like that until recently, so I ripped that out, and I put that swamp milkweed in the back to give it some height right there and kind of fill in that gap right there. So I'm going to put some more vinca back here, some white vinca and some pink vinca, all different colors in pots. I'm going to go and rescue them from the front, and some of the pots that I have things that are languishing, not doing well, and I'm going to plant them. And if the armadillo digs it up, well, I'm not going to be that upset about it because they're not really doing that well anyway. So I've opened up the space a little bit, and I'm going to rip out the stuff that's kind of around the stone pathways. And this creeping Jenny, I'm going to pot it up, put it in some pots, because I've discovered, I used to think that I wanted little green things to be growing between the stones, but I keep stepping all over them, and I don't like it. And so I'm going to just have mulch between the stones. I had to pull this out of the pot because the drainage hole was clogged and it was turning into a swamp. So that is a hydrangea that I'm going to replant somewhere. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this transformation. I've opened it up more, and once everything grows up a little bit more in the pots, you won't even really be able to see them. They'll grow in so thickly together. But I'm also doing something in the front, doing some work there. So I have seen some butterflies, but not right now. I wanted to show y'all this duranta right here. This is duranta, and I like to keep it clipped down smaller, but I have some in a pot in the front that has grown really tall, and it's doing something that I've never seen it do before, because usually I trim it. So I'm going to show you. So I've let this duranta grow straight up in the air and didn't trim it down, and look, it blooms. It's got little blooms on it. Is that not beautiful? I'm loving that. And here's the duranta bloom up close. Isn't it lovely? I have seen photos of it on the internet with it blooming, and I was like, and I didn't think I had the same kind of duranta, but it is blooming and it's neat, and it's just added another layer of interest. I'm gonna let them grow a little bit more now. My David Austin roses are looking really scraggly and sad. They've got black spot and they have not gotten enough sun, and but I cut the salvia back, and so now I think they're going to do a little bit better. And this is a Desdemona rosebud. Last night I was watching Gardener's World and Monty was talking about Desdemona roses. I was just like, oh, I have one of those. And here she is. Isn't she going to be lovely? Also, here's the smallest little bloom on Gentle Hermione. I can't believe that they are even doing anything with the heat and the drought, and it's just incredible to have anything. So this smells amazing, and I would definitely recommend Gentle Hermione. Monty was also mentioning how he was planting Tithonia, and when he was planting it, I was like, oh, I have that too. So here it is. I'm standing up. It's about 4 feet. So the Tithonia has grown about 4 feet tall, and isn't it just so cheerful? It must be pretty easy to grow from seed, since I'm growing it from seed. It got a little beat down last night from the rain, but aren't they just the most cheerful flowers? And looks pretty vigorous. So I would definitely recommend growing it. It's such a happy, happy color. I can't grow this in the backyard because it would make me upset, angry, because I don't like red back there, but up here in the front, it looks great. We are almost finished with screening in our front porch, and I have put together this little shady garden right here. I'm gonna add some more stuff so that you can't see the gravel, but I'm loving this. This is where I sit, just right here, and look out at the garden, and really enjoying being able to see the garden and not be completely eat up by mosquitoes and midges and yellow flies and all the things that want to suck the life out of me. Now that I've got a screened in area, I'm going to start focusing a little bit more attention on this front yard, and you can see that the fountain grass got beat down by the rain last night, but I've got a lot of ideas for out front, and I'm going to do something that hopefully will keep armadillos out for good, but it's going to take a lot of work. We were talking about Turk's cap the other day, and this is Turk's cap. These flowers are edible. This is the only bloom on it right now. It's been stressed, of course, from not having rain, but I was going to show y'all how I like to eat them. So here's the bloom, and I can't tear it off with one hand, so I'm going to do that and then show you in a second. All right, see how I tore the flower off the end? This is where all the sugar is, and so you just suck the sugar out. And then I don't eat this part, so I throw that away. But this end part you can chew out. And it's kind of gelatinous. It doesn't really have much flavor, but it would look really pretty in a salad. I mean, if you wanted to decorate salads with flowers, it's a good flower to do that with. But yeah, it's good. This is the first time that I have raised monarch caterpillars from eggs, and now I've got 4 chrysalises, and probably in about a week to a week and a half they will emerge as butterflies. Is that not incredible that God can do all that work and turn an ugly caterpillar into a gorgeous butterfly in such a short amount of time? You can see that they crawled up to the top of the cage and made their chrysalises, and so I'm keeping the lid on it so that when I come back and they have emerged, I can release them. I can't wait to share that with y'all. Look at the gold decoration on the monarch chrysalises. Isn't it gorgeous? They look like they're jade and that they're flecked with gold. These would make perfect earrings, would they not? I have a bunch of eastern black swallowtail chrysalises on this one stick. There are 6 of them. And look how this one turned green. The others are brown. He decided to do something different. And they can be green or brown or tan. They can change into that range of colors. Usually what they do is they try to mimic the color of whatever they're on. So this green guy, I don't know what was happening with him. And here's another chrysalis that did something unexpected, because he turned brown and he is on a green fennel stem. He has chosen poorly, because this stem would probably not last, especially if he decides not to emerge for another whole year. Well, this stem wouldn't do him any good. So thank goodness I have him. It also looks like this guy is choosing poorly. I think he's going to end up making a chrysalis on this fennel stem, but that's okay. I mean, I did put sticks in there because I wanted to encourage them to, make a chrysalis on a stick, and most of them did, but several decided not to. Y'all, look what I just found. This is a woolly bear. It's called an eyed tiger moth caterpillar, and I don't think you can tell, but there are some red stripes in there. It was wet. This is on a stick of Dusty Miller. I went to pull it out of the ground because it was looking sad and pathetic, and this moth was on it, this moth caterpillar. So I'm going to take it inside and raise it so we can see what it looks like when it emerges. So since I found it on Dusty Miller, I'm gonna give it some Dusty Miller to eat. And man, it looks big enough to turn into now moths turn into cocoons. So it looks big enough to turn into a cocoon right now. I'm gonna show y'all how big it is. So look at how big it is compared to my finger. I mean, wow. Now, I need to tell y'all, don't go and be touching just any old fuzzy caterpillar that you find, because some caterpillars can sting you. This one, they say you can get contact dermatitis from touching it. And I have played with woolly bear caterpillars before, but I'm not going to play with him because I want him to be undisturbed, and we'll just see what happens with him. Also, look at his cute little feet. Doesn't he just have the cutest little feet? Yeah, that is really cool. I don't know which end is his head and which end isn't. So probably this top part right here. See right here? I'm guessing that is his head, because I can see that they're like kind of smaller claw-like looking things. Because I found this woolly bear on Dusty Miller, I went ahead and brought in a sprig of Dusty Miller in case it wants to eat some more. And I've put it in a glass with filtered water, and I've taped the top of it so that he can't fall in. So if he wants to crawl down this stem and then go back up this one, he'll be safe. He looks like he's like big enough to turn into a cocoon already, but and here's the tape that I used. I used this tape, and I read that they like to hide in leaf litter at night. So I'm just going to put some paper towel down in the bottom of the cage, so that at night, if he wants to go get up under it and feel safe, he can. And we'll just see what happens. We'll see if he'll turn into a cocoon soon. Isn't it exciting? I tried to dry him off with a paper towel so that you could see, because he's got water droplets all over him. But that didn't really work, because he's just super, he's just, those little things are kind of sharp, and so they don't really bend down. He's like bristly. Something that I had to learn the hard way that I hope that y'all will not repeat, because it has made me so sad. With that woolly bear moth that I had, I didn't have another container to just put him in by himself. So I put him in the container with the giant swallowtail caterpillar, because there was plenty of space, and I knew that the woolly bears didn't eat other caterpillars. I mean, I looked it up and knew that. But it turns out that the woolly bear caterpillar had been had some kind of parasites in it, and I didn't know that. And they came out of it, and they got to the giant swallowtail caterpillar, and I had to throw the whole thing out. It was oh wow, look at that, there's a plant knocked over. I'm gonna have to pick that up. I've got a new rule. Whenever I raise caterpillars from eggs, they're going to be in a separate container from anything else that I find in the garden. Like say I'm raising eastern black swallowtails from eggs, they're going to have their own container separate from the caterpillars, the eastern black swallowtail caterpillars that I find out in the garden, because I don't know, what has happened to them. And it's a very terrible lesson to learn. I should have known, but now I do, and I want to pass that on to y'all so that you never mix them ever. There's a reason. There's a reason for it. Thank y'all so much for joining me on my gardening adventures. And I can't wait to find out what y'all been doing in your garden. It's so much fun. I'm learning a lot from y'all. I really appreciate all your comments. And I can't wait to find out what's going on with you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.